Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Get that bell notification on too so you don't miss out on a video. Last time we were here, we built up a cool historic highway in the area. And, I love those historic highway builds or, road infrastructure builds, that is, because they don't only play into that one episode, they play into many other episodes as we build along the highways or the infrastructure. In today's episode, we are going to be building up the business district between Hanover Heights and Waltham. Now, we haven't built up Waltham yet, so I wanted to get this central business district portion done. It's a business district that's situated between two suburbs, so that's what we'll be doing today. It already has a really solid transit network in there, so it's a matter of just building up the businesses and the town center between these two suburbs. So with that, let's hop out and take a look. So this is the suburb of Hanover Heights. This will be the suburb of Waltham. The area in between is what we're going to be focusing up today, the Hanover Heights Waltham Business District. And it already has a metro in here. And we've already built up some roads here, just planning some pre-planning of the grid. So this highway here is what we built up last time. It is an old highway that was the original road that ran from this area. And they probably redid this junction here a long time ago with a realignment of this road. So then this road goes over here. It actually ducks down into a bit of a trench here. Oh, we're good. I was wondering about this. So it ducks down into a bit of a trench here. And I built this one connection here, which was something that I asked your opinions about. And it seems like a connection down in here was preferred, so I did this. I thought just this simple little loop connection here with a light is probably the most realistic scenario for this area for now. Perhaps once Waltham gets built up in the business district, if things get a little bit busier, we can look at incorporating this into a bit more of a larger interchange. But for right now, just this simple loop connection works absolutely fantastically. And I chose this section here because this road actually goes right to Hanover Station and is a main avenue or thoroughway, at least, through the suburb. So, and the highway connects up over into here where we have a bridge and we have a bit of an interchange right here. Then it connects up over here with another major road, bridges it with a bit of a pedestrian connection where we have a nice cool quay along the wall here. Quay along the metro here. And then it goes off into the distance. So we're going to be focusing out over in here. Now I actually already have placed a little bit of detailing in this little zone here. Just some flower plazas help spruce up the area a little bit. But we're going to be focusing our first process right in here. And I've already added in what we're going to be kind of placing in these districts. So let's take a look at the districts, a rough little plan here. So I extended the Hanover Heights district into this little zone right here. You have the Waltham Hanover Business District right in this kind of area. And then Waltham is going to be the rest of it pretty much. Out over into here probably too. But and then these little blocks are in the Hanover Heights Hanover Heights area, not the business district. This is the business district. We have recycling, we have parks and recreation, we have big business benefactor, education boost, high-tech housing, high-rise band, which is going to be key because I don't want this becoming too much of a high-rise zone. So this already has high-rise band. These are tall enough for me for this area. We have recreational use because it's Canadian themed city. We have prefer parks because that just helps boost some things. Same with park maintenance boost, and free Wi-Fi because why not? It's a business district. Sometimes you see that. But we're going to be having modern city center in here. And then we're also going to be adding in some specialization. And we're going to be trying to use the wall-to-wall specialization for any office buildings in here. We already have the commercial, but in the residential, we're going to be using self-sufficient buildings. So lots of things going on through here. And let's get started. So I want to get a road at least through the middle here. Now, I'm thinking about a certain thing, and I think a little pedestrian zone in here would be really good. Just the ability to have a couple streets that are pedestrian streets really speaks to me in this area. So I think we have some nodes that are placed in the middle right here. So I'm going to place this bluestone road. I don't think we've used the bluestone yet, so why not? So I'll use this, and then why don't we use a little special tree for this area? And, ooh, do bushes work, actually? Because the bushes could look nice. It's a little too barren. We could go for one with some flowers, I think. That would probably be best. You know what? I like this one. So we have those trees in here. Now, Modern City Center. I don't think we've used it very much. We did use it a little bit in the downtown core, but if we use this whole block as commercial, that could play out really nicely. Now, I'm thinking some offices would also do really well, but let's talk about this asset that we already have in here. So this is the Metro asset. It is the cross section between two metros. If we look at our transit network, we have this one. This one runs into Hanover Heights suburb just to kind of get that extra stop in. It's also where all the buses meet, and then it goes off into Bellevue and then into Midtown and up into Greenburgh. And we have the other one, which runs from Hanover Heights Station in through the business district into the university, and then it's actually splits into two different lines that go through the downtown core up to Greenburgh, or it goes into Walsenburg in the future airport. So very, very connected area. So that's why I think some of these buildings could look really nice here. Some good kind of mixed use commercial, and I feel like the Modern City Center buildings look the most like mixed use buildings. So I think if we get one block in here, that could look really nice. A bit of like mid-century revitalization kind of look. So we'll let all these come up, upgrade a little bit, and we'll see what's up. But this asset in particular, I would think, at least, that there would be access from the back side of it. So we're going to kind of play into that. Looks like the dumpsters are over here. But you know what? I would bet there's a door over here. Let's just say there is, because I think it'll play a little bit nicer into a story. So I wonder if a plaza could work through here. Because if a plaza doesn't work through here, I don't know. And you know what? I think I actually might have jumped the gun a little bit. Because this street here definitely needs to be enlarged. So where it meets this road here, we definitely need to have a road that has a larger grade, and we need extra turning lanes for the part that meets the intersection. There we go. But then we don't really need that much going on through here. I want it to be a bit of a slower street anyways, so I'm feeling my favorite road at the moment, and it's this one, the just basically 2-lane road here. And I'm just gonna basically just quickly upgrade these all the way through, and then we get to this point here, and I guess we could go back to that same road we just used before, like this. I guess that makes sense to do. So let's quickly just clean things up. I'll pull this back a little bit, and then we'll clean this up, and we'll clean up the intersections. All right, so there we have it. This is pulled back. It's just on the line of this road here, and we have the Modern City Center buildings going up. Now, I'm going to be really picky during this because there's no point in getting something like the Modern City Center in unless it is absolutely perfect. So I'm going to be waiting for corner buildings, for example, and corner buildings that are symmetrical to each other, like these two. So they play really well into kind of creating the story of it being one block, right? But it looks like we're going to get this one on the other side as well. Now, I'm not going to keep these two because otherwise it's going to look like the two middle buildings are too big of a break in the system. So it looks like these two are one building on one side, and then the other two are one building on one side. So we're going to get the same one here again. We're messing up our little pattern here. So, oh, here we go. We got the two corner buildings. So while we're doing stuff, I'm just going to be quickly deleting things so we can see this green little awning pop up. So there we have it. We got those ones again. So you know what? Let's see if we can find the ones we want. And there we have it. So I spent some time there making sure that the buildings looked nice together. I can't really get a building to stick here that I want, but we'll settle with this one. We'll let it all grow up and maybe it'll evolve naturally. So everything's historical except for this one building, but now we have a really cool little block of commercial buildings through here. And now let's focus on this one here. So I did say I wanted to get a pedestrian zone through here. So I will need to zone on this pedestrian block now. Right now, both of these buildings are actually on the road piece, so we don't actually necessarily need to, but I do need just the smallest of pedestrian zones. So we're going to zone in a little teeny pedestrian zone, and we're going to have it serviced by an off-campus service area. And I think we're going to get it, sorry, holy cow, autosave at the worst possible time. I think we're going to get it somewhere in Waltham, but I'm not sure where. So I'm just going to temporarily, throw it out over in here, just because I know I'm not going to be building over in this little zone today. But you know, this is not going to be where this is going to stay. This is just temporary because I need to have that pedestrian zone service center. Where is it? It's in Parks. Yes, it's been a little while since I've done this. So we just need a really small one. I'm going to upgrade it to this one because if we use any other pedestrian zones, I'm only going to want it to be balanced off of one building. And this one looks a little nicer than the, in this case, than this really thin small one. So this larger building we can incorporate in some light industry build. So that's going to service this pedestrian zone. And really all that building is going to do is service like a couple office buildings. So I know we've already zoned those office buildings, so let's get those in place, and then we'll talk about the what to do with this area behind the metro station like we previously mentioned. So I'm just going to zone up all in this because I think the key feature of this is going to incorporate the facade of this metro with another facade of the office buildings here. Now, I was thinking that perhaps a modern city center building could play nice in here, but we'll see what pops up with these fun office buildings. So now that we have that in place, let's look at right in here. I'm thinking we need a pathway that goes from one side of the metro to the other. And I think the best option for us is to utilize this space here because we've kind of already clipped into it a little bit. So why not just go the distance here, and we will bring a path right through here, but we'll also bring a path right up against these office buildings. And that should make for a unique little area here and encourage the use of the back doors of the office buildings through here. Now this building is so cool, so we're going to keep this one and we'll see what pops up for the rest of it. It's a good height as well. Now we aren't exactly centered, are we? So I wonder if we can grab a second path through here and there we go, and then just include it to about here and try and center that. Is that centered? It looks like it is. All right, so then what we can do is just detail it up a little bit. So we were using a special tree, so why don't we try and incorporate that again? Yeah, very good. So just a lot of flowers through here is good with me. All right, so this is definitely not the building that I was hoping to get in here. So why don't we look for the right building? Fantastic. So this one works in the sense that it's hiding the awkward facade of the metro, but it does reveal awkward facade on this side, but I think it looks a little nicer than exposing the one on this side of the metro. But we also got another building in here, and this one looks so much better than the other one, so we're going to keep this here. All right, so now we're just going to wait to see what pops up over in this 2x3 little area for this office building. So what I'm thinking is we can get some other types of buildings in here. And one building that I was really keen on incorporating in this build is a bank. And we're going to use the large bank because I think this building looks really, really nice. So it is just slightly larger than the space we have here, but that's okay because we can just incorporate it or incorporate other elements in this little area. And maybe we can say that this road could be upgraded as well. That could also work. So there's different variants of this building, but this is actually the one I was hoping for, the domed one. There's this giant squared one, which is a little taller than the pointy one, but the domed one is what I was looking for. So that's actually fantastic that it was already there. So we're just going to move this over slightly so that we just blend the concrete in a little nicer. There we go. And then let's upgrade this road. I think all we really need to do for this upgrade is just a 4-lane road, or we could go this one with parking, which could be good, but I think something like this would be good actually. Yeah, I like this. All right, so then it leaves one little spot right in here, and there is a fence right through here, so we could think about that, but I think just a really simple condo would play really nice on this corner. So we're gonna let that come in on its own, and we're still waiting on a building. Oh no, we got one. Now I'm looking at this, I actually think that the heights are a little off. So why don't we go with a condo in here as well? You know, mixed zoning is really important, and having this apartment building on Pedestrian Street is kind of it's kind of good. I like that idea. So we're going to let these apartment buildings zone up to taller buildings because this is definitely not the height I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that this building is actually going to be the tallest of the bunch. So I'll wait for that one. This one as well could get a little taller, but I'll leave this one to zone up by itself. All right, so that's actually really great what we have through here so far. What's going to be in this area in here? Well, that is actually quite difficult to do. It's a really awkward space, right? There's definitely not going to be a road coming off of here. There's definitely not going to be a road coming off of here. But this is a real true access point. This one as well could have a connection. So I don't want it to be a thorough way to get through it though. So I'm thinking this could be like a bit of like a nightlife area. It could be a bit of like an area that you at least come to, you know, for a coffee or something like that. So a bit of low density in this zone could be really nice. So I'm going to try and use the pedestrian zones through here as much as we can. And we'll fill out this really, really awkward space, especially with it being such a traffic centered area here. So let's start off with the pedestrian streets. All right, so I'm debating making this area a road, but having this a pedestrian zone is pretty cool, especially with it being just right across the street from the metro. So I think we'll leave it as pedestrian streets for now. So first of all, let's get our flower trees through here. Nice. And then let's get our young linden trees on this road. I think that plays, oh, that is not the young linden tree. There we go. Those play really nicely for this. And yeah, you know what? I really like the look of this area so far. Let's try out getting that pedestrian zone in here properly. So I did say that we're going to try and get low density commercial in here. Now, since we have mid-century modern through this area, I'm not sure what's going to happen if I just zone some commercial through here. One thing that I do think would be seen in this zone is apartments. Now, this is a really noisy area, right? Especially right through here. But this is a bit of a awkward zoning space. So I think that having apartments on this side here could be nice because we could fence this off and make it a bit of a park for the apartments. Now, I am using the what's it called? The self-sufficient building. So I would always say that these would be more along the lines of condos. but I think it works just as well. So let's go with deliver everything, allow street music, why not, driving slow, of course, and yeah. So I actually think we need to make this a new district within this little district area. So we have Hanover Heights Waltham Business District, so we need to carve out our own little space right in here. All right, so I just split up the two districts with Waltham and Hanover Heights, and now we need to add in our building types in here. So we're going to go with the self-sufficient buildings in here, and then I said we were going to do leisure. Is that what the bars are, or is it tourism? No, it's leisure. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so with that in mind, let's start zoning up. So this was just normal vanilla, and I actually don't mind a Burger King there or whatever that is. But let's wait and see what pops up. So let's see this. So I know also that I am kind of mixing some tough zones with residential and restaurants, but I definitely see the people living here as young professionals, potentially people living at the university, maybe older students. It's right on the edges of the downtown as well. So I think that this would be kind of like a destination spot to live if you were a part of those communities. So let's get something like this going. I think that could play pretty nicely. Maybe that. No, I think that would work. And then right in here, I would say that we could probably get an office building in here. So I think we should get the wall-to-wall theme continuing in this area as well. So wall-to-wall in here. And I like the wall-to-wall as kind of a modern office building in a modern development. I think that works really nicely. And then why don't we get an apartment right here? Yeah, and then we'll get another office right in here, and we'll leave a spot for a bit of a sneaky path. So we have one last spot in here, and that is right in this little slot right here. And I think that it would be perfect for just a simple little commercial zone. So I would actually really like it if this building could be a part of the Hanover Heights district. So we're playing really tight with what we have going on, but Hanover Heights is just a basic commercial zone. So if we can get like a gas station here or a Burger King or something like that, just something really basic, that would be really, really nice. So we're going to detail this up off camera. But one thing I really want is, or not off camera, sorry, at the end of the episode, one thing I really want in here though is just a couple paths to encourage walking through here. And again, we'll come back and detail it up. But this office building is a little dark for, oh, it's changing already. But that's kind of what I'm looking for. That's a great height. And also really just propels this area upwards a little bit. These buildings are a little too tall, and I don't really like this one here. These ones don't look like leisure buildings. Oh no, that one is. Okay. This is a great one, actually. I really like this one. Even though it doesn't have building going all the way back into here, or infrastructure at least. So maybe we do delete it. Oh, that's great with the seating on the pedestrian side of things. I think that works out really well. I don't mind this taller club, I guess, over on this side though, because it, maybe this was an original building. This is a newer part of the modern redevelopment of this area. But these condos are looking really good as well. I think we'll have to wait for them to come up. Oh, an IHOP. Okay, fantastic. And look at that. It's actually situated on the pedestrian zone here. That's actually really cool. I like that a lot. Who doesn't like an IHOP? I've only been once. It's not in Canada. So, actually, I don't know if it isn't in Canada, but I've just never seen it, I guess. So, now that we're kind of working our way through here, look at this. It's a great little business district with a bank, with some shopping areas, some residential, mixed zoning, And it's going to create a bit of a focal point here when we're looking at it from, like, say, on top of the mountains here. That's a really cool little view. We have the condo towers over here that shoot up into the sky, but over here we have a nice little zone. But we still have this space in here, and this was in our new district, correct? Yes, it was. So fantastic. I'm thinking this is going to be a bit of a mixed zone as well. And you know what? I actually don't think I want this to be fully in the new district zone. I'm gonna be really picky here, folks. Okay, fantastic. I'm just gonna save this one because that's good enough for me, and we're gonna see what comes up in here. I was thinking this would be a cool little pattern with an older house that maybe still exists over here, with a couple of smaller condos as well. This is a great building for this corner, definitely the right vibe for sure. This one, interesting. Bowling alley. Okay, you know what? We're gonna keep that bowling alley. And what do we got over here? Fantastic apartment buildings. Those ones look great right there. Exactly the style what I'm hoping for. Don't like this building. We're going to delete it. And this one, you know what? It works. It works right here. All right. And a couple of apartment buildings as well. Maybe these ones are a bit of the original apartment buildings in the area. So we'll keep those ones. And I don't like this one. So let's just try and choose one really quickly. I love the little diner asset. It's a super pharmacy, but it's a diner. And we'll wait for this one to level up a little bit more than that. Yeah, okay, looking good so far. Let's talk really quickly about this zone in here. You know what, actually, let's just move on to the next stage. So, if we're looking at it like this, we've kind of established a bit of a grid going forward. Now, I have planned this out a little bit, because there is an asset that I really want to get in here that's going to take up a lot of space. We have a ton of space for Waltham. And we need something that's going to skyrocket the land value through here. So I'm thinking a unique building that is large. And what unique building? Central Park. Who doesn't love a good, you know, community spaced park in this area? You know, this park isn't ginormous, but it's going to also take up a lot of space, establish our grid pattern well into Waltham, and I think it's going to, you know, definitely set us onto the right foot for future Waltham builds. All right, so we've leveled out the land and everything like that, and boy, would you look at this. It's almost like it was planned, and we can get a nice little connection through here. Now I do like how this larger road kind of goes into a smaller one through here. That's fantastic. And then we get into here where we can kind of have our little scenic drive through this zone. Now I've always thought that this would be really good if you could incorporate a metro into it. This is just an aside. I'm not going to do it today, but if you're doing a downtown build, you can grab this little guy right here and slide it in right there, or on the other side or something like that. And wouldn't it, if this was right here, doesn't it look like you could access it from this side? I think so. I think it looks just like a large metro plaza. Plus then if you have it on this side, for example, you know, you're on that side of the road, you can get into it from there. But if you're on this side of the road, you can get into the metro from here. So just a little heads up from old Steven. And I think that's a fun little thing to do. So let's square this off, because I think that's I think this is a good thing to do with this park. Now there are really good abilities to connect. You see all these little nodes. Those are the nodes that you can connect to via the park. But I think that this park does really good if you just surround it with a road. Now this is the amphitheater, so on the back side of it, you could give it more room, but with the density of the trees and whatnot, it almost just screams at you to just place a road right here, or if anything, leave a gap, or maybe 2, because I think maybe we could sneak a pathway connection through here, and then that gives us just a little bit more room for that amphitheater as well. Okay, so let's try and sneak those paths in, and then we'll detail up a bit more of those same trees to fill in the rest of this little space here. All right, so there we have it. Look at that. That is fantastic. Really enjoy that. Right in here, there's a little gap. I think we should just fill this with something just to make it not look so awkward, right? So why don't we just add in a few of these little bushes right in here, and hopefully that does the trick. Yeah, that's good enough. But look at that. That's really, really cool. I really like how this is coming along. So now let's talk about the grid of Waltham. We're going to move the grid pattern down this way and then also up into here. We're not going to go any farther than this road that we built to connect the park. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do those trees in this little zone. We'll add that in the detailing time lapse. So we have 2 main roads through here. This is one of them. Now this one doesn't need to go in this direction at all, but I think I need it to go in this direction. So let's start with that one. And we need to have node snapping on and our guidelines. And if this were to just go straight, it doesn't really work. So I think this one's going to have to turn into a different road at some point. Now we might want to think about considering extending this grid over a little bit. So why don't we go to about here? All right, so I went a bit further than I was expecting to, just because I wanted to see how this played out. I like these slight curves on this, and then obviously this road needs to continue for sure, right? So I guess I should have been playing the curve off of that road. So let me just redo that. All right, so that works out fantastically. I don't think we need any more streets through here. If anything, we're going to get some pedestrian action through this little area through here. But definitely zoning off of that road here and this road, it would work. So I still want to focus primarily on this side, but we'll work around the park probably at the end of the episode, because this road needs to come right down into here and might even connect directly with this zone. So I definitely think this is gonna become a larger road at some point, but I'm just gonna connect it up right now because I need that connection. And look at that. It is a perfectly flush grid. So the reason why I needed this road here is because we're gonna be getting in the final metro station on this line. Now, I do think we're going to get another metro station in this direction, but that is not going to come in today's video, because if we're looking at the transit, I think the next metro stop is going to be out in this area over here, and then probably one more over in this side. I think these trees are going to demarcate the edge of the suburb for me. So maybe 1 and 2, and I'm suspecting that 2 is going to be above ground, 1 is going to be below ground. So yeah, similar to what we've done over on this side, but Waltham Metro, this is a really exciting connection here, because this is a little difficult, right? We're in a trench, or sorry, yeah, we're in a trench. We are quite low to the ground here. So, and we're exposed to the air. So how do we do this? Well, we are going to do a bit of a unique little thing here. And we're just going to pretty much flatten out the terrain right in front of this area. No, actually, I think we might move it over a little bit more, because how are we going to get people to this little zone here? And I was thinking that a basic pedestrian bridge could work out nicely. So I really like the, what's it called? The amusement park bridge. But it's a little difficult with how this looks against the, whoops. Oh, it's because it's connecting to that path. Against the key. So the key is going to be a bit of an issue, right? So let's try and line this up. Doesn't need to be perfect. All right, so that looks like a bit of a ramp, right? And it blends pretty well into that key wall. And we'll definitely work on the rest of it when we get to the rest, when we finish the metro station. And we might need to redo that. But I think the metro station is going to be well positioned if it's to the right of this road. And when we have the continuation of the walkway through here. So definitely not a roadway. I don't think that's going to play into the theme here, because I don't see why anyone from this area would want to get onto the metro here when there are so many other opportunities to get onto the metro to go in that direction. I'm sure there would be some, but I'm going to encourage them to get off at Applegate Park and go into the central station and then go into downtown, or take the route that goes via the bridge via Bellevue. So yeah, no more roads across here. All right, so now we need to level out the terrain here, and we're going to choose the height that the metro is on. We're going to extend the brush out a little bit. We're just going to lower it down to about here, about that far. I'm going to do more than I think we need, just so we have some space to play with. Now, this is tricky because I don't think this is going to be the busiest of stations, but it's a really important station, that's for sure. So I'm thinking that the best spot for it, now the reason why I chose this side over this side is because I think the population density is going to be a bit more towards this side. If we were to put it on this side, you know, while we are getting, it's a bit more in between the two, I think this is going to play out a little nicer. Actually, you know what? I'm starting to lean towards this side now, looking at it, because we're pretty tight with space on both sides. But this is really close to this side. So maybe we do try and place it on this side of the area. And hey, maybe we can get some cool waterfront properties, and they will have better access to metro. All right, now what is the metro station that we're going to be using? Well, we're going to be using the vanilla ground metro station. Now, why are we using this station? Well, throughout the series, we've been using these ones, which are extensions of the vanilla metro station. Now, the reason why I got these ones is because this one is an island, this one is a bypass, this one is a double island, and they play really well into certain builds. So, for example, we have the bypass station here, because this station could get bypassed by metros coming from this area. This is the same one because we have a service station over here, so sometimes metros would just try to skip through here and they don't want to disrupt service, right? So in this case, I'm thinking of creating the same thing, the bypass station. But the unique thing about these buildings is they have access points from both sides. We don't need that. We only need one access point. So what we're going to do is we're going to place this guy down, and we're going to use the existing metro as a bypass line. We're going to curve off into the station on both sides, and that's going to be the method of approach for these metros. So it's not the most efficient coming from the university because they need to cross the tracks, but I think we have some pretty good metro drivers in our city, and they could figure it out pretty easily. All right, so there is the rough entry of the metro into this zone. So we're going to try to make it even through here. So I think that would involve moving this road over a little bit. Looks like we're to about right there for the nodes. And how are we going to connect this up, right? Because this is pretty steep of a drop. And I think the way we're going to do that is with a long curved road into here. I think it's probably the best bet. This could be a cul-de-sac kind of thing where we have the main entry point perhaps over here, long drawn out road network down. Maybe we could even tunnel under on this side and then curve back up. That could actually be really cool to do. I think we should try that out. And sorry, I was just about to do that, and then I realized we should get this road in here because that'll really tell us where we can place this road first. So this is a 6-lane road. This has been here for quite some time. This is going to go to ground level here, and we're just going to continue the same angle that it's on. And this one is going to slide out a little bit farther, just because I think that this road would continue. It'll kind of break the grid of Waltham. I think that'll probably be the best bet for this, and definitely not going to remain at 6 lanes all the way through, but right in here, this is where this road's going to turn into a larger grade, and we're just going to turn it into a really simple 4-lane road with a median in the middle. And this one is yeah, this is going to be perfect for this zone in here. And then we can also change this one up to here, and then we could also include this one in there as well. Yeah, I think this is probably all we need, though in real life we would definitely have the dedicated turning lanes on the ends here, so we can try to spruce that up. This would just, encourage the traffic flow through the area here, because people coming from this road, which, this is a pretty major thoroughway. I think we can name this road something special. So why don't we make this road, so Waltham Avenue, it goes all the way through here. Yeah, that's perfect. I think that plays out pretty nice. So you know what, this road doesn't have a name, does it? Oh, Bowman Boulevard. Okay, yeah, but it just hasn't continued all the way through yet. So we'll bring that one through, and Bowman will probably curve off in this direction and probably maybe become the first connection onto the highway from here. I think that would make sense to do, but that is not for today's episode. We're going to focus on the metro, and then we're probably done after our little detailing time lapse. And yeah. Okay, so let's get our connection in here. We see this little zone in here. I think this would be a good slot for it, but I think this node would probably be the best, maybe in between the two. Yeah, because I don't want too many lights too close together. So we'll try to get it right about in between these two. All right, so that works out great. And then we're gonna try and do something similar, but we're gonna tunnel under here and curve back up. That would be kind of fun. I've never done something like that before. I think that that would be really fun to do. So what about right here? This works out pretty nicely. It looks like we're right on the middle here too of this area, which would be cool. So let's bring it out 8 units. That just makes sense. Flip that, and then perhaps this road here we need to bring out a little bit more to get a curve. Okay, this looks really cool. I like this a lot. We have this one pedestrian bridge, which doesn't look that great, does it? So I think we need to fix this, and I think the best method of doing this would probably be to go over top of this road here, and then join join this area down in here, probably right in front of the metro, where we'll have like a crosswalk. So I'll click home right there, and we'll refix the grade in a second, don't worry. All right, that will get slippy in the winter, but I think this looks pretty good to me. Let's just make sure that the 3 nodes here are all actually in line. There we go. Okay, so that means we need to fix things once more. All right, so yeah, this works out pretty nicely. I really enjoy this a lot. What's going to be down here? Well, this is, you know, a transit destination, right? So I'm thinking we can get a bit of a bus hub in here. Buses have these long, drawn-out curves, so I think it would be fine. I don't think this would really be a business area. Wouldn't mind seeing a cafe or something like that down here, but I think a bus hub would make the most sense. So I think if we keep this kind of hill here, this is good. We could maybe even incorporate a key again, which is always fun. All right, so here we have it. Finally figured out the key situation. I was getting a little frustrating. So we need to bring in a road here for the buses. So we're gonna make this a bus road, and we could go with the bus pedestrian path road, but I think just the basic workshop bus road works fine. And we'll bring it in to about here. Should we bring it right up to here? Yeah, I think so. And then we can make that crossing like legit, I guess. And well, it's not like it wasn't before, but now it has a bus area around it. And then right in here, what we can do is we can add in that bus hub, which would fit really nicely right in here as well. So this will come into play later on when we have bus routes. But we don't have bus routes right now. So right now it's just gonna exist as this start of this transit hub. Now I don't see us getting anything else in here for transit. It's just gonna be buses, I think, and primarily at least. Trams maybe, but that's a long shot to be realistic. Okay, so we have opportunities to have a bit of a park in this little zone, and then right in here, I think what we can do is line up all of these nodes to be the same height as the metro, and then what we can do is re-slope that area right in here. Yeah, 5.2% is pretty good anyways. All right, so let's get a bit of commercial action in here then. I think that makes sense to do. Okay, very cool. Just some really light commercial, just some cafes and stuff like that. And then we'll make this a bit of a park. So definitely like a fence through here, and then we'll have I wonder if any of the park assets could fit in here, actually. We could try to force them into this little zone. That's too big. Playground doesn't make sense. Dog park. I like dog parks. But I think this one might actually work in here. Oh, whoops. Yeah, that'll help the land value out as well. Looks like we lost that restaurant, and I had another one in mind if it didn't work. It was this one, the Catfish Cafe. I think this one is really cool, so let's remove that little area and we'll hopefully keep this one. Okay, yeah, that looks fantastic. We can get a couple path connections in here, And then why don't we also dabble with a bit of Park Life DLC stuff as well. And this would play really nicely with this cafe, you know? Just a nice simple cafe out in front of the bus station. And yeah, okay, so what do we have going on now? We got pedestrian connections, we got some commercial assets, we got a park. This is a good little destination here. This could definitely get smoothed out a little bit better. And we can re-add in our trees as well in this little zone. Okay, yeah, this is coming along really good. Right through here, I think we're going to have to save for the expansion of Waltham, because dealing with this metro took a little bit longer than I hoped. But let's look at the metro lines, because there are two running through here. And one of them, the light blue one, is the Hanover Fort Prairie Airport. So this is a bit more of an express one. Not 100% necessary, but this University Prairie Station line, I think we need to get this one to stop here. And now the metros will stop in here and they can bypass on the other side. We have this pedestrian connection, which, you know, to be honest with you, I'm not sure anyone's ever going to use. But I think that it looks cool and is important to have in here. So all in all, what did we do today? Well, we set ourselves up really nicely with a nice solid grid through here. Why don't we run one more of these grid roads before we kind of jump into the detailing time lapse? Oh, come on, I was so close. All we needed was just one more little segment here. Okay, and then now we can grab this road and bring this one through. This one is going to be definitely a more major road. And this one could even connect up to the highway. Just makes sense to do so. It'll really slow down through here before it gets to this. I don't mind using it as a bit more of a collector through this zone, as long as there are not too many connections. Like this one, we're not going to connect up, but this one we might, and then this one would just kind of curve off and end. Why don't we do that? Why don't we continue with the roads a little bit before we jump into the detailing time lapse? Because I think then we can really move fast on Monday with the Waltham suburb. So where do we want this connection here? We don't need it to be that 6-lane road. We can just downgrade it, so we'll use this one. Right in here looks pretty good to me. Let's check out the topography. That's really important. This is where the hill is, but it's really not that bad. So yeah, let's get this right here. All right, so there we have it. We can then connect this one up, and these long grids are just so suburban, aren't they? You know what? This one doesn't even have to connect. Or what we could do is we could bring this one in to connect, and then skip this one or something like that. Skip that connection. That way it splits it up a little bit more. Yeah, you know what? That looks pretty good to me. This one could continue on into here as well. So definitely lots to think about still. And I think that we've done a pretty darn good job so far. So let's see. Oh yeah, we're good. All right, well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to hop into the detailing time lapse. Not an incredible amount to detail, but we have this space in here, which, by the way, look at this. This looks fantastic. I love how there's a gym over here now. We've got some repetitive buildings in here, so we'll delete this one. We'll see what pops up. Now, maybe we can try and taper it a little bit like that. That could be cool. Love this office building. This is the one we originally talked about as well, but it's got a pink facade on the other side of it. So we'll keep that one, and we'll save the other one. And we're starting to get some tall buildings in here as well. Very, very good. Oh, some more repetitiveness. Let's delete that and try that tapering off situation again. Once the autosave finishes. All right. So yeah, that looks really, really, really good. I'm really pleased with the way this area looks, because I think the bank really flows well with these assets. And yeah, you know what? this looks great. I'm really pleased with it, especially once this all gets built up a little bit more. But detailing time lapse, and I will catch you in a bit. All right, so there we have it, folks. We detail this all up. As you can see, it looks really nice. We also got the condos going in, and then over here we have the metro with the bit of commercial and the bus hub. So all in all, folks, I think we are looking pretty good here for the future. So let's just try and find a fun angle here to end it off, and hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Monday. Peace out.